This is a Crack House Chronicles production.
Welcome to the Crack House Chronicles, your favorite true crime podcast. I am Donnie, and with me is a man that says when he loses a pound, he just likes to picture a pound of cake, which he's like, cake.
Pound of cake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like pound of cake.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of
If you lose a pound, you just think about something to relate it to, like a pound of butter or a pound of cake. And
pound of fat.
Yeah. Yeah, lose a pound.
Yeah, I'm more likely to find a pound.
Find a pound.
I'm a pound finder.
You just pick up a pound here and there.
There it is, yeah. You don't want to drop many.
You gain more than you lose.
Especially this time of year.
Oh, yeah,
I'm a pound finder.
I tend to gain weight around the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, National Hat Day,
Arbor Day.
Sock Day. Yeah.
Woo!
What's going on today, dude?
Same old.
Yeah, back in the Crack House doing an episode.
Yeah, well, snowing a little bit this morning.
Yeah, had a little bit of snow.
A little spitting, I guess, more. It wasn't really doing much.
Wasn't hitting the ground.
Enough to send a... Yeah, it was hitting the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there wasn't a bunch of it.
Wasn't nothing to send the school buses home.
Well, yeah, it don't take that to send them home around here, does it?
No, it doesn't. You get to falling, they're going to put the buses back on the road.
It gets colder, the wind blows a little bit, they'll cancel school in a minute.
In a minute.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and people up north, though, they'll go to school. It doesn't matter what time of year it is.
Yeah, they ride the school bus both ways up and downhill in the 6 feet of snow or whatever you say.
Yeah, they used to it.
Yeah, buddy.
These people around here where we live, you get a snowflake, they forget how they drive.
Yeah.
They really do. It's crazy.
Shut down the schools.
Yeah.
Go to the... Yeah, but they all make it at the damn grocery store, don't they?
Yeah, gets their bread and milk.
Bread and milk sandwiches.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is they make.
Yeah. Got to have a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk.
Gallon of milk, yeah.
Got to have it. Yeah, for some reason.
You'll survive the apocalypse with a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, that's right.
Just ready to get her done, man.
Yeah, we got a crazy episode this week.
We do.
We do. You got anything to say or mention before we get going?
Man, I'd just like to give everybody Jimmy Hensley a shout out. He's always a big fan of the show, always sending us some ideas, and he lost his dad a while back, and I've been thinking about him a lot here lately, and just wanted to give a shout and say, hey, Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy.
Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you everything you do and listen and recommend us.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have to go down to the Bridges barbecue one day and hook up old Jimmy and have a couple hot dogs or something.
Yeah, a couple of hot dogs.
Yes.
Best hot dogs in the area.
Ain't that the damn truth?
Oh, yeah, they good.
Anyway.
I tell people to go down to Alston Bridge and get a hot dog. They said, hot dog? I said, trust me, they got the best hot dogs everywhere, anywhere.
Yeah, my wife looked at you crazy. I ain't going nowhere to pay for a hot dog.
Oh,
Not
man.
almighty.
Yeah, you get a hot dog from there, you'll be back.
Yeah, sure.
But I want to remind everybody, too, they can go to Apple Podcasts and leave a 5-star rate and review, write something in the box, and leave a review there, and we'll give you a big old shout out.
That's right.
Yeah, and you can do it on Spotify or any other podcast platform that they allow it. Also, you can go to the store page, get you something cool to wear, get you a hoodie, get you a cap.
Yeah, if you hurry up, you can finish your Christmas list.
Yeah, I think it's still time to get something right before Christmas.
Yeah, get her done.
Yeah, get that Christmas stuff going. All right, Dale, if there's nothing else, we're going to get going on this episode.
All right, let's do it.
All right, Dale, we are back.
We are, buddy.
And with this episode, we are going up to Canada.
Yeah, we ain't done a whole lot of Canada.
We've done a few. We've done the Ken and Barbie killers. We've done the what was the guy that had a cop car that was going around killing people?
That was in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, it was still Canada.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Because I don't know his name.
I can't remember his name. We did an episode on that, and we did something else, too.
Lindsay Buziak.
Yeah, from British Columbia.
Yeah.
The realtor, yeah, that was murdered there, and her father there is Jeff Buziak's fighting a good fight, man. He's, whew.
Yeah, man, the dad of dads.
Yeah, I follow him on Facebook, and golly, this guy is, like you said, the dad of dads.
You darn right.
Yeah. But we're going up to...
The Great White North. Let's do it.
We are. We're going up to Canada, and we're talking today about a guy by the name of David Russell Williams.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, but he went by Russell, his middle name.
Russell.
And just a little bit of background on him getting into him.
I guess we got to start across the pond, huh?
Yeah. He was born over in England.
Yes.
In 1963 in Bromsgrove, England. His dad was Cedric David Williams, And his mother was Christine Noni Williams.
That's a Nonie.
Correct.
Noni.
Noni, Noni, Noni. I think that's how you pronounce it. But they were over in England, but his dad, David Williams, he was a metallurgist, and he got a job offer over in Canada to work at the Chalk River Nuclear Research Laboratories. Yeah, he was a scientist, and he was come over there to Canada and help them with their nuclear reactor project they had going on. I think it was the largest nuclear reactor in Canada at the time.
That sounds fancy.
Yeah, it does. And when they moved over to Canada, this area they were in, this part of the country was pretty affluent because the people there were all scientists and well-to-do people.
You mean uppity when you say affluent?
Yeah,
Okay.
affluent. They had money.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
they were educated, and they sort of set themselves apart from the rural residents living beyond this planned community borders for this nuclear project.
So you were either uppity or you weren't. It's
Yeah.
like all the rich folks and then the people who clean up after them.
Yeah, the
Is that
have
what you're trying to say?
the have and the have-nots.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the residents there of the Deep River community, they formed a tight-knit group. The Williams family, they even joined the Deep River Yacht Club and the tennis club.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, but now Russell, he'd had a younger brother, Harvey.
So was he born in Canada?
He was born in Canada, yeah.
Okay.
But living there, when they got over to Canada, they were in this community, and they soon met another couple they became quick friends with.
Okay.
Yeah, their last name was Savka,
Soft.
Jerry and Marilyn Savka. And they became quick friends. They would go over to each other's house and have dinner, and they would go fishing and just hang out, man.
Yeah, Jerry was a nuclear engineer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very uppity people.
Yes.
But at some point, David Williams, Russ's dad, he was accused of having an affair with Jerry's wife, Marilyn.
Yeah.
And somehow or another, Christine Williams, she ended up,
It's kind of weird. She was like blaming him for having an affair with Jerry's wife, and she being Christine Williams was blaming her husband having an affair with Jerry's wife, Marilyn.
yes,
But then when they split up, she ended up marrying Jerry.
yeah,
So it was like, wait a damn minute. So was she just blaming him, and then just were they both doing it, both cheating on each other, or did they just confide in each other once they seen how horrible their other what do you call it, their
spouse.
yeah, whatever. When they did they get together and talk about how bad they'd been done, and then end up falling in love or whatever, or it's not really explained. It's basically they all split up, and then these other two got married.
Yeah, they switched spouses.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't think David Williams, he married the Marilyn Savka. I don't think they ended up getting married, but Jerry and Christine did.
Right.
Yeah, they ended up getting married.
I think they just blamed one and then married.
Yeah,
Which
pretty
is
much.
odd, yeah.
Yeah. But in 1970, Christine and Jerry Savka, they got married.
Right. And according to Russell, who we were talking about today, he really liked Jerry. He thought, his stepfather was a lot better than the one that he had as far as the way he was treated and the way, everything went, that Jerry was really good to them.
Yeah. Hey, Russ said his dad, David Williams, was very strict, had to be organized. Everything was a certain way.
Yeah. His way or no way.
Yeah, pretty much. But his new dad, Jerry Savka, was more laid back and easygoing.
Right.
So he enjoyed that.
He enjoyed it very much.
Yeah.
Yes.
And even changed his name.
Yeah, he even started using his name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Safka.
Yeah,
Correct.
Russell Savka, yeah. Which is really weird, yeah.
When they got married, they relocated down to Toronto.
Yeah, they did. Moving into a pleasant house that looked down on the Lake Ontario from the Scarborough Bluffs.
Correct.
Yeah. So in Toronto, Russell, while he was there, he took piano lessons and trumpet lessons.
Mhm.
And he even developed a lifelong love of jazz.
Like the jazz.
He did. And even worked as a paper boy delivering the Globe and Mail newspaper,
Wow.
which would later chronicle his life that we're going to get into. Yeah. But Jerry Savka, his career uprooted this family.
Yep.
They ended up going to South Korea.
Sure did.
Yeah, they were over there for his job that he had. So they lived in South Korea for a while, and it's been reported that Russell, he had either a good time there or a bad time, and it may have been like a mixed bag.
Yeah, I don't think he had a very good time.
No, he was bullied a lot because a lot of the kids there in South Korea thought he was American.
Yeah, there's even reports that they would call him Yankee and spit in his face and stuff like that happened. So the two boys ended up coming back to Canada.
They did. This was when they were in high school, and their mom put them in a boarding school.
Correct.
They transferred from Toronto's Birchmont College to an elite boarding school.
Yeah, the elite boarding school was the Upper Canada College.
Yes. So they were there while his mom and stepdad were still in South Korea.
Correct.
So they were going to live there and continue and finish their education. But Russ, he quickly fit in and continued to excel. And fellow classmates elected him to serve as one of their boarding house's 2 prefects in his final year in 1982. But, he was known to be a jokester and a prankster.
Yeah.
He would hide and jump out and scare people. He would change the locks on some of the rooms so that people would have trouble getting into their dorm rooms. He'd done a lot of crazy stuff.
Well, I think a lot of that would come from him being pranked himself.
Probably.
There was stuff where they would tie him up or they'd lock him in a room and he had to end up tying bed sheets together to climb out. And so he kind of learned from them and then kind of turned the tables.
Yeah, he did. And it's even reported that he even saran wrapped the toilet.
Yeah.
So when somebody went to the bathroom, he'd end up peeing all over himself.
Fun stuff.
Yeah. But he went on to study economics and politics and earned a degree from the University of Toronto, Scarborough. But while his time there at University of Toronto, there was another classmate there. I don't know if he knew this guy or not, but we covered him on the Ken and Barbie killers. This was Paul Bernardo.
Yes.
Paul Bernardo actually went to the University of Toronto and was a year behind Russell Williams.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know if they knew each other or what, but during this time there were some assaults and rapes going on at the University of Toronto.
Yeah.
It was later that Paul Bernardo confessed to some of these rapes.
I don't doubt that a bit.
During his time. But during his college years, Russ had a friend that was, his dad was a pilot, and he taught Russ how to fly.
Mm-hmm.
He did. And they said that Russell Williams was a natural at flying.
Yeah, well, Russell had met a girl, while I was at college. I think it was a Japanese lady, and they hit it off pretty good. But then something happened, and she broke up with him, and he didn't take it good at all. He was devastated, and he didn't date anybody for a long time.
Her name was Misa.
And I think that's when he really decided to dive into this pilot thing.
Yeah.
And he's just really a natural at it.
Yeah, this lady broke his heart, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, she, once it was over, she was done with him.
Yeah, she's done.
He tried to get her back several times, but she was done.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but yeah, there ain't no coming back from whatever it was.
But his pilot instructor told everybody that he was a great student, learned to fly quickly, and he was like a natural at it.
Yeah, basically said he took him up and then showed him a few things and then was going to let him try it, and he was just astounded about how he took to it.
Yeah, and Russell he was fascinated with the movie Top Gun.
Mm.
Yeah, he even would go around quoting some of the lines from it.
Everybody probably was at that time.
Yeah, and it was crazy that he saw this movie and it was like what he wanted to do. He knew,
calling or something.
Yeah, he knew that this was what he wanted to be. He wanted to be a military pilot.
Right.
So David Russell Williams, he actually began his military career in 1987.
Yeah.
And
So when he went back to Williams, he dropped the Sofka name.
He did, and returned to his original name. His first military assignment made him a flying instructor with the CT-134 Musketeers at Portage La Prairie, just west of Winnipeg on the Manitoba Prairie.
That's a whole lot.
It is a lot, yeah.
Yeah, got to get back a little bit, because when he was, flying and the guy was showing him stuff and he took to it, he really stayed dedicated at that, and then he kept doing that till he passed everything he could pass, and that's how when he got to the military, he was already that far ahead.
Yeah.
To be an instructor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was
he didn't just walk in and flew a plane one time and they made him instructor,
Yeah, he was all in on this.
Right.
Yeah, that's what he was wanting to do. And there was a Major Greg McQuaid. He remembered Russell Williams as an intense young man who was full of promise, and McQuaid would help to promote Williams from lieutenant to captain in 1992. And Russ Williams was transferred to Canadian Force Base Shearwater in Nova Scotia. But this is where he met a lady while he was there, and her name was Mary Elizabeth Harriman. and he met her in 1991. And she had grown up in Madison. This was a mining town in northwestern Ontario where her father worked as a geologist. And she had attended Red Lake High School and then graduated from the University of Gulf.
Yeah, works for me.
Yeah, but she graduated with a degree in applied science and later earned a master's in adult education from St. Francis Xavier University in Nova Scotia.
So, very highfalutin folks.
Well, yeah, they said that Russ Williams and his wife, Elizabeth, they were a power couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were both highly educated and very driven in what they wanted to do. But Russell, in 2003, he obtained a master's degree in defense studies from the Royal Military College. And he had a 55-page thesis, and he argued in favor of a preemptive war in Iraq. And his military career continued to blossom, and he was promoted to major in 1999, and then became lieutenant colonel in 2004.
He's jumping on up, ain't he?
Yeah, he is. So this guy, they said that he had the will and the drive to do what he wanted to do. He was very focused and calm under situations, and that's what really promoted him through the ranks. He didn't get bent out of shape on anything. So him becoming lieutenant colonel in 2004, he was selected to lead the number 437 Transport Squadron at Canadian Forces Base Trenton, and he flew Canadian officials, and so he would transport dignitaries where they needed to go.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, he even transported Queen Elizabeth II.
Yes. The royal family.
He did.
I think he flew those folks from England over to Canada.
Yes.
And then wherever they needed to go from there.
There was at some point, Russ Williams, he faced some personal disappointment. His mother and Jerry Savka, the one she'd married after she divorced her husband, David,
Right.
they ended up getting a divorce in 2001,
Yes.
which led to a fallout between the family members.
Yes. He didn't
Yeah.
like it. He didn't take his well at all.
No. Russ, he cut all ties with his mom and his younger brother, Harvey.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Russell just distanced himself from everybody.
Yeah. But I think
Just
it was
doing his own thing.
But I think at some point they did reunite and try to rekindle their family, but it never was the same as it was before. But Russ Williams, he was busy with his career, because in 2009 he became commanding officer of the Canadian Forces Base Trenton. This is Canada's largest Air Force base.
Right.
He had a fleet of jets that served government officials, and the base also functions as a search and rescue center and rapid deployment force hub.
Right.
So this is a pretty big place. You looked it up. How big was
It was 960 acres.
But after they were married, they bought a home.
Yes.
This was in the Orleans neighborhood. And then they bought a new townhouse in the trendy Westboro village.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they had two homes. But the home in Ottawa was like 3.5 hours away from the Air Force Base.
I think they had the Ottawa house before he got this big promotion. And then when they realized it was like a 3-hour drive to the base, that's when they decided to buy the townhouse.
Yes, they did. And this was in Tweed.
Tweed, yes.
Yeah, and the home in Tweed was an hour
It was 45 minutes to an hour away. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
away
it's still
from-
not close, but way closer than 3 hours.
closer.
Yes.
Yeah, and Russ would live at the cottage up there in Tweed during the week and go to the base.
Right.
Yeah.
And he also had quarters on the base, so if he wanted to stay on the base, he could. But, most of the time he would stay at this place and go there unless he had something to do really early in the morning, and he would go and sleep at the base.
Yeah, or Russ's wife Elizabeth would come to the lake house and stay for the weekend, or he would go back to Ottawa.
Yeah, for the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically they were staying apart during the week and then get together on the weekends.
Yeah, but they bought this lakefront home. It was on Cozy Cove Lane in 2004. But while he was there, he established himself as a good neighbor and a civic leader, and he posed for press opportunities and showed up at charity events and was helpful to the people under his command. Everybody liked him. He was running this Air Force base. He was the commander of this Air Force base.
Yes.
So he was a pretty prominent feller in this area, yeah.
Yes, he was.
But his wife, she became the associate director with the Heart and Stroke Foundation, which is a Canadian charity. But Russell Williams, he spent his weekends with her in Ottawa, but lived alone in the cottage in Tweed during the week, like we mentioned. And this seemed to be a pretty good arrangement for him, Dale.
Yeah.
They had their own lives separately, with their work, but then on the weekends they would get back together and
do the marriage thing.
Yeah, do their marriage thing, yeah. But while Russ was staying at the house there in Tweed, he became neighbors with a couple named Ron and Monique Murdoch and their children. And they would hang out together, and they would even go fishing together and do different things.
A lot of fishing going on.
Yeah. But at this time, Russ Williams, Dale, he was about 44 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like at this time, this is when his criminal career started.
Yeah.
Unless everything he did before this point, he kept it under wraps and didn't mention anything about it. It wasn't found out about.
Yeah.
Because there, when he was at Cozy Cove Lane, he started to breaking and entering a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this neighbors that he became good friends with, Ron and Monique Murdoch, they were out of town one weekend. They were actually visiting Monique's dying mother in another town of Sudbury. This is when Russ, he went to their home and went in.
Yeah.
He entered the unlocked door, and he was just prowling around. He went into their 12-year-old daughter's room, and he spent about 3 hours there in this house. And he went to the girl's bedroom, and he got to pilfering through her underwear.
Yes.
Yeah, he would try on different pairs of this girl's underwear.
And take pictures of himself.
Yes. Man. And at one point, he even laid on her bed and masturbated.
Oh, yeah. Self-pleasure, baby.
He did, yeah.
So he would go in the little girl's room, put on the little girl's underwear, take pictures of himself, and kind of get off on that.
He did.
So he wasn't breaking in the house to steal their valuables. He was breaking in their house to put on their underwear and try their underwear. And this day he left with 6 pairs of underwear.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. And he had returned twice more to this girl's room over the next few years.
So he's breaking in slow. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And he ended up breaking into 47 other neighbors' homes, too.
Oh, okay. So maybe not so slow.
Yeah. Returning to one of them at least 9 times.
He must like that.
Yeah, and he scoped out the homes and their female occupants. He sort of figured out what everybody's routine was and what they were doing to be able to do this.
So basically, he didn't really need to have as much time alone.
No, yeah. But no one seemed to suspect Russell Williams to do this because him being a colonel and being an affluent guy with the military.
Right. Running the base, the big base there, top dog.
Yeah, and during this time, he even kept playing cards and drinking beer with the Murdochs, the one he kept going into and stealing the little girl's panties and underwear.
So, you got to keep up the rouge here, man.
Yeah. And the lady there at this home, she was teaching him French, to be able to talk French during this time. So, yeah, he was taking her panties, but still hanging out with them. And the daughter he was stealing panties from taught him how to play cribbage and bake cupcakes and cookies for him. Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
So he's pretty weird.
But also, Russ, at this time, he complained that he had some chronic pain, back pain, and
joint pain.
Yeah. And he would take a number of drugs for his aches and pains. He would take some prednisone to treat a variety of inflammatory and autoimmune problems. And he said that he would have to walk at night to relieve these afflictions.
Yeah, he said that whether it's true or not, he would say a lot that like he'd tell his wife that his joints were really bothering him at night or his back's bothering him, he's tightened up. So if he could go out and take a walk before he go to bed, it would help the pain immensely. So that was one of his ways to be able to get out and walk around at night without anybody thinking anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he would just get out when everybody else is in their house and walk the neighborhoods and probably looking in windows and checking out everybody's schedule.
Probably was, yeah. But the people in this neighborhood that he had this little cottage in, it wasn't far from the base, people there didn't lock their doors. It was a very safe neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was for a while.
Yeah. But on September the 16th, 2009, Russ had just gotten back from a routine trip to a Canadian Forces base in Nunavut, Canada. And it was just after midnight, he broke into a cottage on Charles Road. It was a few blocks from the place he was staying there.
Right.
And he had on a mask, and he entered the home. And there was a woman there that was alone, who was watching Law and Order rerun. And he tried to knock her out with his flashlight, but she remained conscious. He then blindfolded her and tied her hands with wire. And Russ Williams sexually assaulted her, but he told her that he wasn't going to rape her. He just wanted to take some photos of her and her naked body.
Yeah, he's all about taking photos. Like, even when he was breaking in those houses, he would like go up to the underwear drawer, pull it out, and take a picture of it.
Yeah.
And then he would take them out and lay them on the floor or on the bed, all individually out, and take a picture of it. And then he would put some on and take a picture of himself wearing it, front and back, like even posed and all this stuff. So he was really, he was big into taking photos, I guess, so he could, go back and remember all this stuff. But yeah, he took photos on top of photos.
Documenting all this with photographs.
Yes,
Yeah.
very much so, yes.
Yeah. But this lady that he just broke into, she just moved to Tweed just a few months before.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd wanted to raise her child in the safety of this small town. This small child was in the next room throughout the attack.
Right, yeah. When he come in, he told her he wasn't going to rape her. He just wanted to take pictures of her, and he'd take pictures of her and take pictures of him, and it's just crazy.
Yeah. After this attack, it was hours later, Russ Williams attended a Criminal Intelligence Service Ontario conference at the Ramada Inn in Belleville. This was just south of where he was living there in Tweed. But Williams accepted a criminal investigator's donation to Soldier On, which is a charity for wounded veterans.
Right.
And a few days later, he would drop the puck at a season opener for the Belleville Bulls. This was a hockey team. And then attended the base's Battle of Britain Memorial Parade.
So he's like double laughing like heck, ain't he?
Yeah. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. And it was just 2 weeks later, Russ, he struck again.
He did.
This victim lived just a few doors down from him.
Now, we'll go ahead and make sure you know that he did not rape that girl, that first girl.
No, he did not.
No, he just wanted to, he basically made her pose for a bunch of photos. And I know he did like take her, part of her, she had like a tank top on, and he pulled down one side, exposing the breast, and took a picture, and then pulled down the other side, and then I think he did sexually assault her a little bit there by following her, touching her, and then took more pictures, and then made her take her pants off and take pictures of that, but he did not rape her or anything.
No.
I mean, that's bad enough, but I'm just saying.
Just humiliating her, taking photographs. Yeah.
Yeah, getting off on that.
But yeah, she was blindfolded this whole time.
Correct.
And she couldn't see who he was or anything.
Yeah, just listen to her commands.
Yeah.
But it was weird, though. Like you said, he'd come up, smack them in the head with a flashlight or something, and then they'd talk about how bad their head was hurting, and he'd give them aspirin or Tylenol or something. He'd give it to them and take care of them, tell them he was sorry if he'd done that. But he's just so weird.
Give him something to drink.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do this weird stuff to you, but I'm sorry about it.
It's crazy. But like I said, just 2 weeks later, after this attack, he struck again. And this victim lived just a few doors down. This happened on September the 30th.
Mm-hmm.
And this lady was awakened by a masked intruder who stripped off her clothes.
Yeah, well, he cut him off with a knife.
Yeah, and he tied her to a chair and sexually assaulted her and began taking pictures.
Right.
Yeah. But this lady, after the attack, she reported it, and she thought her attacker was another neighbor by the name of Larry Jones.
Right. She thought she had
Recognized his voice.
recognized his voice. And I think this is the one where he would tell them to count to 300. And then you I'm going to leave you alone. I'm going to cut you loose, and you count to 300 before you do anything. And then she had got to like 70 and stopped, and he was still there.
Still standing there, yeah.
Yeah, so that freaked her out. So then she counted to like 200 and then yelled out, and nobody was there. So then she called 911 or whatever to report it. And then when they asked her about it, she didn't know who it was, couldn't give them no description. Knew he was had a ring on one hand, knew he was clean shaven and some other stuff.
Average build.
Average build, but always, had no idea what he looked like. Mm-hmm. But she thought the voice sounded like Larry Jones.
Yeah. The police, they did go to Larry Jones's home, and he was just coming home from somewhere, and they questioned him quite a bit.
A lot.
Yeah, they took him to the station, questioned him further. They took some computers from his home, did a bunch of stuff.
Everything. Polygraphed him.
Yeah,
works.
he gave up DNA, everything.
Everything. Because he knew he didn't do it.
Yeah.
He's like, hell, I don't know what you're talking about. They found some stuff on his computer, but nothing that would have tied him to any of this stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
But after the polygraph Larry Jones took, they pretty much cleared him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was just 2 days later after this attack, Russ attended a ceremony to present a check to his wife's charity. And police, meanwhile, they were searching Larry's home for all this during this time.
Right.
Looking for items stolen from the 2 attacked women.
Right.
They were looking for panties, bras, anything they could find.
Yes.
And it was on November the 17th, 2009, Russell Williams broke into another home near Belleville.
Right.
He stole dozens of pieces of lingerie, a pornographic video, and a sex toy.
Mm.
And there he left the resident a pretty haunting message on her computer.
Yeah, like pulled up a notepad or whatever.
Yeah, Word document or
There
something.
you go, yeah.
Yeah, and on this note, he dared her to call the police and said the judge would enjoy seeing her dildo.
You know, the thing about this one is this girl, she thought, somebody had been in her house and she freaked her out. So she called one of her male friends to come over and they were talking about it. And, it's like she didn't know if she wanted to call the police or not. And she knew that the drawer that was now empty had all her sex toys in it. So she was, am I going to be embarrassed? Am I just wasting their time? I don't know what's going on, and discussed all this. And within the next day, they seen this note on the computer, which made them realize that the whole time they were discussing it, he was in the closet listening to this whole discussion. And that's why he put this note to go ahead and call the cops. Because I noticed to the judge, is your huge dildo. Now, this is the second time he had left a message. And one of the other ones he had just left, one of the younger girls, just Mercy. Or whatever.
Mercy.
Yeah.
Which is thank you in French.
Yeah, just left that one word. So he'd started, from just sneaking in and looking at stuff, and then sneaking in and stealing, underwear and panties and stuff, to sexual assault. And now he's starting to
leave messages.
Yeah.
He's
taunting them a little bit,
ramping up a little bit more every time. Yeah,
he's like leaving a little fear and making people get a little bit nervous.
Yeah. So the next situation we have with Russell Williams, this involves a lady from his base.
Yes.
Her name is Corporal Marie France Comu. Now, this lady, she was a flight attendant on some of these flights that they would take out of Canada to different places in different countries. And Russ Williams, he knew her schedule. She was under his command there at the base.
Oh, yeah. Well, if he didn't know it, it wouldn't be hard for him to find out. He just had to look her up and find out what she's doing, where she's going, and where she lived.
Yeah, but Corporal Comu came from a military family. Her father was actually a Canadian Armed Forces medic, and a grandfather had been a Spitfire pilot who had earned honors in World War II.
Yeah.
So she followed in these footsteps of her family, proudly serving the Canadian Forces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in November of 2009, she was serving on the crew of Prime Minister Stephen Harper's flight to Mumbai. So when she got home, she went back to her house, and
She was on a long trip. They went from somewhere to there and then to India and then back.
yeah, so she'd been on a long.
Correct.
So she was ready to get back home and just wind down, because she actually had the next day off to be able to recuperate from all this. So when she finally was able to return from work, she had missed her shift after returning from India.
Correct.
Yeah, and her boyfriend had came over to her house to check on her. This was on Raglan Street there in Brighton. And when he went in to check on her, because he hadn't heard from her, he found her dead.
Yes.
Yeah, because Russell Williams had broken in and hidden in her basement.
Yeah, because he knew when she was coming home.
He did, yeah. He was just waiting on her.
And I think he'd actually been in her house several times before this, because he knew she was away on this long trip. So then he went in, and he went down in the basement, put on his mask, and hid behind the furnace and waited for her to get home.
Like in the shadow of the furnace.
Yes.
Yeah. And when she came home, she was wanting to see her cats.
Yes.
Yeah, and she was looking for her cats, calling them out by name, and one of them wasn't coming to her.
Nope.
And she went down the basement to try to find her cat. And the cat was sort of crouched down or sitting there, was fixated on something.
Yeah, what had happened, the cat had came down and seen him sitting there, was just staring at him.
Yeah.
It's like, I see you over there, brother.
Instead of a watchdog, it was a watch cat.
Yeah, and it was definitely watching him. So when she was ready to go to bed and couldn't find her other cat, she come down and seen the cat staring at him. When she saw what she stared at him, then she saw what the cat was staring at as well.
Yeah,
And that's when he got up and saw her with a flashlight.
he did. And then he tied her to a pole.
Yes.
Then he went back upstairs and covered up all the windows and pulled all the shades and everything.
Yeah, and set up his camera.
He did. And then he went back down in the basement and got her.
Yes.
Took her upstairs. And this is when he raped and tortured this girl for several hours.
Several hours. Yeah, even set up a video camera for this one.
And it was at one point, she asked him if he was going to kill her. And she begged for her life.
Yeah,
she-
this was bad, man.
Yeah. He had bound her mouth and nose with duct tape, nearly suffocating her.
Yeah, just left a little hole over her nose so she could breathe.
Just get enough air in.
Basically
Yeah.
had her whole head taped up, really.
Yeah. And he raped her many more times.
Mm.
And he even went outside to make sure they were alone.
Well, he went and looked outside.
Yeah, he did. And she came to, and he almost got caught. And he caught her in the bathroom and beat her again with the flashlight.
Right. Well, when he went to go look out the window to make sure everything, she thought she could get away and jumped up, even though she couldn't see where she was going, and she ran in the bathroom. He caught her there and then began to beat her with the flashlight once more.
Yeah. And he ended up killing her.
He ended up killing her. Yeah, the bad way. He went on for like 2 or 3 hours doing this, and then finally what he did is he just put a piece of tape over that hole that she could breathe in, and then filmed her
Suffocating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Filmed her dying.
And then took more pictures of that.
God almighty.
And then took pictures of her after she was dead.
Yeah.
Right. And they found some blood and stuff there too, because, there was blood from where he hit her initially in the basement with the flashlight. And then there was blood upstairs on the bed where her head was still bleeding and some other stuff. And then I think he ended up even leaving a shoe print in blood, because there was more blood than he had intended on having.
Yeah. But when her boyfriend found her body on November the 25th, Colonel Williams was at a United Way fundraiser.
Right. This is when they had the little thing where they, I don't know, what they used to call that, where they lock somebody up and then you have to pay money to get them out.
Yeah.
I forget. They used to do that around here with,
Yeah.
with stuff,
It's like a fake arrest, but they put them in jail, but you pay money to get them out, but this money they pay goes to a fundraiser.
Right.
Yes, that's all in fun.
Yeah, it's just, they have a little fake jail cell set up or whatever and put somebody in there and they end up having to raise money to get them out. But it's just fun things.
Kind of like a little skit, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what they were doing here.
But-
This United Way fundraiser.
Yeah, but
Which is kind of ironic that he put him in a jail cell and then they had to get him out.
But Corporal Marie France's body was found by her boyfriend. And this guy, he was under suspicion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they looked at him pretty hard. But they realized pretty quick that he had nothing to do with it. But Corporal Commue was buried at the National Military Cemetery in Ottawa on December the 4th, 2009. And Russell Williams, her base commander, wrote an official letter of condolence to her father.
Yeah. So there you go, playing both sides of the fence again.
He is, yeah.
Whatever I can do to let you know is our deepest sympathies, let you know this happened, blah, blah, blah. Even though he's the one that did it.
Yeah, living 2 lives.
Yes.
Killed this lady, let her suffocate, film it, and then
Get off on it,
yeah,
wearing her panties.
and then write a letter of condolence to the family.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is crazy.
It's like a Jekyll and Hyde, exactly like you said. Like
Yeah.
he just flips a switch and then he's a super good guy till he ain't.
Yeah, he has this alter personality that is doing all these crimes, and then living base commander by day.
Crazy.
But there's another incident that comes up, and this happens on January the 29th, 2010. This is a lady by the name of Jessica Lloyd, who was 27, and she lived alone on Rural Highway 37 between Belleville and Tweed.
Right.
And this lady, she didn't show up for a job at the Tri-Board Student Transportation Services. This is where she worked as an administrator of a school bus line. And coworkers, they called her family.
Yeah, because she was never even late for work, much less be out.
Yeah.
So this is just really odd. They couldn't get a hold of her.
But family, they did rush out to her house.
Mm-hmm.
And there they found her purse containing her wallet, ID, and sunglasses and regular glasses. They were laying in the driveway next to her car, but she wasn't there.
Right.
During this time, Russell Williams was on one of his diligent runs when he had seen her late January. He had been out that evening, I guess, walking like he always done, and he seen her walking or exercising on her treadmill in her basement, and he noticed her, and he became quickly infatuated by her.
Right.
Yeah, he was wanting this woman. So it was a few nights later That's when Colonel Williams broke in as she slept, and he followed what was becoming his usual routine. What he done, he bound her up, put duct tape over her eyes, and assaulted her while taking pictures.
And recording video.
Yeah, had video. And Jessica Lloyd, she was raped at her home.
Yes.
Yeah, many times. And this when he done something he hadn't done before.
Right.
Yeah. He took her out of that house.
Put her in his car.
Yeah. That's when he put her in his Pathfinder and drove her to his Cozy Cove Lane cottage.
Mm-hmm.
And there he made her shower in front of him.
Yes.
Yeah. And then raped her more. And she was begging him for clothes and pleaded for him to take her to the hospital because at one point she thought she was having a seizure.
Yes.
Yeah, and she thought she was going to die. She just warned him.
Hang in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He even got her something to eat.
Yeah.
And said it's going to be okay.
Well, he told her the whole time he was going to let her go, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Jessica Lloyd, she complied with all of his requests, begging for her life and pleading him to tell her mother that she loved her.
Right. And he made her model all these lingerie, and he just took pictures and pictures and pictures. Now he would end up keeping her for like 24 hours here.
Yes.
Not to mention what already had happened at her house. And he brought her here and kept her for 24 hours. So this whole plight went on for 24 hours.
Yeah.
At least.
And there was some point at the end of all this, he struck her in the head from behind with a flashlight.
He brought her clothes, and she got dressed, and like he was going to let her go. So when they were walking out the door, he gave her a plate, give her some food, some fruit, and as they were walking to the door, he took the flashlight and smashed her over the head.
Yeah, and then strangled her to death.
Yep.
And that's when he moved her body to the garage and wrapped her in a blanket.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then left.
He left because the next morning he was piloting a troop flight to California.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And then when he got back later that day, he went to his home there with his wife, spent the day with her, went out to eat, and then left and went back to his cottage. And that's when he got rid of Jessica Lloyd's body.
Right.
Dumped her in the woods.
Crazy.
Yeah, so at this time, the police, they were looking for the person who killed Corporal Marie France Comu, and they were looking for missing person Jessica Lloyd.
Yes.
I mean, in this small area. And there hadn't been a lot of crimes in this area. I think Corporal Comu, this was like the first murder in that area in like several years.
Well, and you also got to think that a lot of these burglaries and penny stealing and stuff was never reported.
They didn't know. A lot of them didn't know.
They didn't know, correct.
Mm-mm.
And then the ones that did know didn't want to say nothing because it's just, I just stole some drawers or somebody's been in, but nothing was missing. And later they would realize that, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Stuff, my panties are missing.
Yeah. So the police, they're ramping up their investigation, trying to find out where Jessica Lloyd is and find out who murdered Corporal Comu.
Right.
Yeah. So it's at this point, on February the 4th, 2010, this is when the police, they blocked off roads around Belleville.
Well, what had happened is, once they started looking into Jessica Lloyd's, disappearance and what's going on, a couple people said, wait a minute, we saw there was an SUV down in this field down beside her house.
Yes.
And we come this road every day, and that was just really odd to be there. So they went down there and got to looking, and whether, depending on which
Article you read?
Yeah, article or research you do, it was either in some soft dirt out in the field or the snow, one or the other. And either one, I guess, could be true. I don't know. But they found tire tracks out here at this field, and then there were boot tracks, like to the house and then back, and then like you can see like where somebody had been drugged back to where the tire tracks were, and then the tire tracks leaving.
Yes.
So they went out there and made impressions. So I'm assuming, I don't know, can you make impressions off of snow? I guess you can. But anyway, so it was either in the soft dirt in the field or in the snow, one or the other, or both, who knows. But anyway, they had something to go off of. They had the tire tracks and the boot tracks, and they were very clear.
And they had pictures of all these tracks and boot tracks and tire tracks and everything. Yeah.
So they decided they were going to put up roadblocks, and it wasn't, this place was not highly trafficked for just people going through. So they're like, well, we'll just put up
just
roadblock.
Locals that live there, yeah.
Yeah, correct. So they set it up like it was a DWI checkpoint or something, and they run it all night, and that's what people thought it were. But basically, what they were doing, they were stopping people, and they were looking at tires
and the wheelbase.
And the wheelbase.
Yes, they were.
So they was trying to. It was pretty smart, really.
Yeah, very smart. That's pretty much all they had. But Russ Williams, he pulls up to this roadblock.
Mm-hmm.
He's in his Pathfinder SUV.
Yeah, buddy.
And he rolls the window down. He's going to pull some rank here.
He tries to.
He does. And he tells them who he is. I'm Colonel Russell Williams from the Air Force Base. And said they're just stopping people, asking if they knew anything about what was going on around the area.
Mm-hmm.
About all this killing and then this missing lady.
And basically says, I'd like to help, but I'm really a big hurry. I have to get home to a sick child.
That's what he said.
Yeah. So they make note that his tires do match.
They do look at that.
And they make note that the wheelbase is the same, but they let him go.
Yeah, they've told all the officers working this stop that, if anybody matches this vehicle, these tires and wheelbase, let's talk to them.
Yeah.
But
either that or we'll make a note and then start surveillance.
But that officer who had talked to him, being who he was, he let him go.
Mm-hmm.
And Russell Williams thought he was in the clear.
He was good to go, yeah.
Good to go.
He didn't know what was going on. He didn't know they had tire tracks and all that stuff.
No, he didn't know. He didn't. I don't even think he knew that they looked at that.
Right.
Yeah. But he did tell him he had a sick kid at home, and him and his wife, they didn't have any kids.
They didn't have no kids.
Mm-mm.
Which was the stupid on his part, because that's easily checked.
Yeah. So on Sunday, February the 7th, Russell Williams he's at home in Ottawa. The Ontario police, they give him a call and they request him to come down to the Ottawa Police Service headquarters to talk to him.
Right. And there is a movie based on this, and it was pretty slick how they did it in the movie. And I don't know if it was exactly how they did it, the real deal, but it seems like they kind of like called him and asked him if they could, with his insight, maybe he could help them with this investigation instead of like telling him he's a suspect. Can you come down and help us with this a little bit? And him being, base commander, high ranking guy, he's like, well, sure, I'll be doing anything I can do to help you. So
give him some insight on it.
Yeah, he drives down to help him out.
Yeah, pretty much. I just wanted to talk to him and see if he could help him out.
And basically, probably knowing him, he probably go down there just to see what they got.
Yeah, it's going to be twofold for him.
Right. What
they got, and they're going to talk to me about if I can help them.
Yeah. So I can steer them in a different direction, or at least see what kind of evidence they have.
Yeah, but this interrogator, his name's Jim Smith.
Yeah.
And this guy is brilliant.
Yes.
Yeah, he brings them into a interrogation room. They're sitting in there, and they're just casual talking. It's like two guys talking about football or something or whatever.
Yeah.
And but this guy's brilliant, man. Jim Smith. He's a behavioral science expert there in Ontario, and he brings Russell in, and he sits him across from him in the corner. And Jim Smith has his back to the door, so if Russell Williams has to leave or anything, he has to walk by him to get out the door.
Well, he tells him he can leave anytime he wants.
Yeah, we're just here to talk.
Yeah, we're just here to talk. You can leave anytime you want. Blah blah blah, and then they start talking a little bit, and he goes, "Well, and if they feel like you might need a lawyer or something, just let me know. We'll do it." And I'm like, "Wait a minute." Now this ends up going on for 10 hours.
The whole thing for 10 hours.
Yeah, and I'm like, "Wait a damn minute," because I'm gonna tell you. So if they'd called me to come down there and help him, and the first thing he asked me is if I want to leave, I can, and if you need a lawyer, you can call one now. That's the time to leave.
Yeah.
Or call your lawyer, because when he says that just tells me right there that they're not having me come down here just to help out.
Jim Smith even asked him if he has a lawyer, and he says, "I have a real estate lawyer. I don't have a real regular criminal lawyer."
He told me he can get him one, but he's just, I don't need one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're sitting there talking.
Right.
And some point during this talk, Jim Smith brings up the tire treads.
Mm-hmm.
He does. He brings up the tire treads, and he tells him that these match his Pathfinder.
Yeah.
And the boot print matches his boots that he has.
Yeah, and he lies to him, tells him that boot prints are almost like fingerprints.
Yeah.
That they're that close. And he's like, oh. But,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then as they go on, I don't know. I just don't understand. If this guy's this smart, why would he sit there for 10 down hours? But anyway, the more they go on and he's starting to take this in and his demeanor's changing and he's realizing that, what's going on. And then he also tells her, by the way, they're doing a search warrant
of your homes,
of your homes and your vehicle and all this as we're going on right now.
as we speak right now, and your wife knows.
And your wife knows.
Yeah. So during this 10-hour interrogation, this Jim Smith, he slowly just feeding him little bits at a time, and he would leave the room and come back with a little bit more information.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, Russell, he'd call him by his first name.
Yeah.
He would call him Colonel or
call
anything.
him Colonel, yeah.
He just got to,
Dumbed it down there.
yeah. And he said, every time I come back in here, I have more information, and it's not pointing away from you, it's pointing toward you.
Right.
Yeah.
You need to tell me.
Yeah, we need to talk. So tell me where Jessica's body's at.
Yeah, this comes to where the part there. I'm really trying to help you. You just got to help me. We got blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And basically, once he realized he's caught, he's like, well, I just want to do this to have the least amount of stuff to go toward my wife or toward Canadian military.
Yes.
How do we do that?
But what's crazy, too, Jim Smith, the interrogator, would ask him a question, and Russell would sit there for minutes and not say a word.
Thinking.
Yeah. Running through this
Scenarios.
through his head.
Yeah.
What can I say? How can I get out of this?
And hell, you already know when they ask you a question, they already know the answer to it. So.
Yeah.
But he eventually just says, whatever we can do just to, to make it easier on my wife and not put anything on the Canadian military.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, well, that starts with honesty.
Yeah.
So you need to tell me some stuff, and I ask you when we came in here to treat me with respect, and I will with you. And if you want to keep any power of what's going on to this, you need to start now.
Yeah.
Because your time is slipping away. Because as soon as they call me and tell me if they found stuff, then it's over.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be known as a psychopath, right?
Yeah. And they even bring up Paul Bernardo.
Yes.
Yeah, the Ken and Barbie killer, yeah. But at this point, Jim Smith, he asked him, you got to tell me, where's Jessica? Where's Jessica?
Yes.
And Russell gets quiet for several minutes. And he's sitting there, he's got his arm folded like he's covering himself with the arms folded. And he looks at him and says, do you have a map?
Yep.
And that was it.
Yep. Yeah, and then once he basically tells him that, and he asks him, how long she'd been where she is, and how long he had kept her, and what was going on with that, and then he told him pretty much everything, and where she was, and they found her, and then he's like, well, I guess at this point he's like, what do you want to know?
Yeah, and that's when he spills everything. He tells him everything.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, because I think in his mind that I can go ahead and confess, I can plead guilty, and less information is going to get out about this,
right,
unless it goes to trial. Then everything's going to come out. But the investigators, they searched the cottage and his home in Ottawa and discovered copious notes, photographs, and souvenirs that corroborated Russell's account of all these attacks that he confessed to sitting there in the interrogation room.
Yeah, and he had thousands and thousands and thousands of photos and
boxes of underwear that he collected.
And everything was meticulously just in a database. He would go in and say where this pair of underwear come from here, and had pictures with this and linked, and everything was he had them on hard drives.
Yeah.
Where he had hid them, and he'd pull it out and go through it, and everything was cataloged.
Mm-hmm.
It was just crazy how much stuff. Even had videos of himself doing this stuff and killing these people. It was just...
Yeah. They had photographs of a stuffed animal filled a room shared by some girls.
Oh, yeah.
And he had 87 pairs of underwear from a single underage girl. Yeah. So can you imagine this little girl missing 87 pairs of underwear, going to her mom and dad, I need more underwear. And they're like, what are you doing with your underwear?
Yeah, I know the dryer might eat a sock or two, but good Lord.
Yeah.
He had to be like one of those where he went back several times when they were gone, still in their underwear.
But he confessed all this stuff sitting in that interrogation room.
Yeah.
And he was arrested. But while he was in jail, he even tried to kill himself in his cell by stuffing some cardboard down his throat.
Yeah.
He was put on suicide watch. Did you say he got a toilet paper tube and stuffed it in his mouth with cardboard? And
tinfoil.
Yeah, and tinfoil. And even tried to fix the lock where they couldn't get in the lock
Yeah,
of
pack
his
it
cell.
full of tinfoil so keep them from coming in to save him, but it didn't work.
Yeah, they end up saving him. He didn't commit suicide.
No.
But on October the 18th, 2010, at his Belleville trial, David Russell Williams pleaded guilty to 2 murders, 2 additional sexual assaults, and 82 break-ins. And they said it took over 36 minutes to read the charges.
Yeah.
On all these.
Yeah, really, I don't think he had a trial. I think he just went ahead and to bypass all that, plead guilty to everything. Everything except for they said that he had some child pornography. And he said no. And so he admitted to raping these girls and doing this and sexual assault and the 2 murders and the 82 break-ins. But I guess, child pornography, he would not admit to that. He didn't say that was his, so I think he said they were lying about that.
Mm.
So anyway else, so they finally just dropped those charges because he wanted to plead to all this.
Yeah, but prosecutors showed as evidence and photographs that Russell Williams had taken of his tortured victims and of himself visibly aroused.
Oh, yeah.
Modeling their undergarments, and in some, cotton panties emblazoned cartoon characters. Others were close-ups of his erections as he modeled the silk lingerie. And prosecutors merely described the contents of his collection of videotape performances rather than showing them.
Yeah, the ones of the girls where he killed them, they didn't show that. They just talked about it. They didn't want to put the families through that.
During a hearing like this, they just have to show proof that he done this stuff to sentence him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But on October the 21st, 2010, Justice Robert F. Scott sentenced Colonel Williams to 2 life terms for murder, another 120 years for the other crimes.
Yeah.
And the judge ordered the destruction of Williams' SUV and all of his meticulous maintained records of his crimes and hundreds of stolen garments. He also ordered that Williams pay a fine of $8,800, which was $100 each for the crimes to which he pleaded guilty, to a fund for crime victims.
Yeah, it doesn't go back to the victim itself. It just goes into a fund for other victims.
Yes.
Of some sorts. And he also got a 1 year for every one of those
break-ins.
Yeah, so that's how he get up. Just like 80-something years just for that.
Yeah, so he's not getting out of prison at all. I mean, he has no chance. But as the media publicized his crimes, many Canadians called out for his death and the death penalty, which the country had abolished in 1976. But Williams is now in solitary confinement at a maximum security prison in Kingston, Ontario. But he is eligible for parole in 2035 at the age of 72, but I don't think this guy will ever get out.
He may not.
No.
And a lot of people are saying, well, about him being listed as a serial killer when he only killed 2 folks, but they're saying that he was just ramping up and it was just the first 2, and they just happened to catch him.
Yeah, I don't know what the limit is in Canada for serial killers. In America, United States, is 2.
It used to be 3.
Yeah, but the FBI has reduced it to 2 with time in between.
Yeah. But, I'm pretty sure this dude wasn't going to stop here if he didn't get caught.
Mm-hmm.
Because he had ramped up pretty quickly.
But he was transferred to the Port Cartier Institute, which is a maximum security facility in Port Cartier, Quebec, where he remains incarcerated as of available information. But there's no public records of appeals filed by Williams challenging his conviction or sentence, and his parole eligibility begins after 25 years, like we talked about, meaning that he could first apply around 2035, but no updates indicate any early parole considerations or charges to his status.
Right.
But there was some stuff after this post-conviction stuff, man. The divorce, there was a divorce between him and his wife.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, with a significant post-conviction development. In January of 2012, an Ontario court initially opposed a publication ban on details of the divorce, including a property settlement agreement between the couple. However, the ban was appealed and struck down by the Ontario Court of Appeals later that month, making the proceedings public. And his wife's request to seal her information was ultimately denied, and she did not pursue a further appeal of the Supreme Court of Canada. But the divorce was finalized in 2014. And she even, I think, gave him signed over the house, the cottage that, he was doing all these break-ins from.
Yeah, the Tweed College.
Yeah. She signed that over and ended up selling it, and he got the money out of that. And according to Canada law, him being in the military with a pension, he was able to receive his pension.
Yes.
Up to $60,000 a year,
Mm-hmm.
which could not be touched.
Right. Yeah, some of the victims tried to get that stopped, but they said, no, that won't be stopped.
One of the early victims that he had assaulted tried to sue for that,
Mm-hmm.
and they said she couldn't touch it.
Didn't touch the pension.
Mm-mm. But she did end up suing him and his wife for an undisclosed amount, but I think they ended up settling for about $7 million.
Well, poor wife got sucked into this, and she had no idea he was a freak.
I know. Can you imagine living... They were married for almost 20 years. Can you imagine your spouse having this alter ego and alter life, doing all this stuff, and then she comes home one day and the police are in your house tearing it apart.
Boxes of panties.
Boxes of panties coming out and them going through hard drives looking at all this stuff.
Panties and dildos and everything else.
Yeah, like you said, he cataloged this stuff and everything was so meticulous. And they've showed pictures of his trunks that he had all this collection of underwear in, and everything just folded neatly.
Yeah, like military.
Yeah.
Exactly.
His computer records on this stuff, like you said, he kept record of all these attacks and all these break-ins, what he took, what he found.
Whose it was, and photos of, and everything all together.
Documented everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we're going to post pictures of some of this because some of these photographs he took of himself in these break-ins trying on this lingerie. Sick, man.
Yeah, buddy.
But like you said, there was a television movie adaptation of Russell Williams' case. It was called An Officer and a Murderer. And the lead actor in it was Gary Cole, played the lead role. And it premiered on the Lifetime Network on July the 21st, 2012. And the Canadian premiere of the movie network originally aired in August of 2012.
Right.
But it was canceled after reviewing the media coverage of the U.S. premiere. Yeah. But An Officer and a Murderer eventually aired on Canada television in August of 2013. But there's many documentaries and different things on this you can watch. And the whole interrogation, well, not the whole interrogation, but I think there's almost 3 hours of it on YouTube between Russell Williams and Jim Smith, the interrogator. And you can watch Jim Smith slowly break down Russell Williams in this conversation. And it's fascinating to watch. And Jim Smith, his interrogation of Russell Williams was actually used as a model of what to do in interrogations. Yeah. And he's went on to train law enforcement on how to interrogate.
Well, he done a great job because he's just so low key. Just never gets excited, never raises his voice. It's not like the ones you see in there yelling at him and beating on the table or nothing like that. It was just slow burn kind of.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was great to watch.
Yeah, and that movie's not bad.
Hmm.
I thought it was all right movie.
Gary Cole done a great job in it.
Yeah.
I'd never seen him in a role like that before, but
No.
he done a great job.
Yeah.
Man. But anyway, that is the story of Russell Williams, the whatever you want to call him.
The Panty Bandit.
Panty Bandit.
What was he? The Tweed Creeper, I think, was what they were calling him locally.
Yeah.
When they didn't know, when it was just people breaking into houses in Tweed.
Or the Kinky Corporal.
Yeah, that would work too.
Yeah.
Kinky Colonel.
Oh, the Kinky Colonel, not Corporal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. But anyway, that's it. That's what we got. But it's if you have a chance, watch that movie. It's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
All right, Dale, we're going to get out of here, man.
All right, let's roll.
We want everyone to be safe. Please be careful and always be aware of your surroundings.
Because the next episode could be about you.
This is the Crack House Chronicles.